So the dragon wants to pick up a fight with D1 Crashout, and they get to scrapping. But then Ragna got pushed back, and Kamui decided to transform on him. He's making sure he's gonna have fun in this fight. So Kamui tried to charge in, but Ragna hit him with the counter. But bro was not trying to let that slide, and summoned his weapon on him, breaking his own sword. But there was one major problem. Bro was exhausted, and he was crashing out while his body couldn't move. He would generally crash out about anything at this point. If it involves a dragon, he's crashing out. But speaking of crashing out though, they all survived the attack just because they got teleported in time. And Ragna doesn't even know what's fully going on, and he needed some answers. Well, until someone decided to call his name, and it was someone who looked like Ultimaia. So bro wasted no time and punched her in the face, and ended her life. Keep this in mind, she just called out his name, and she got murked for that. Nah, cause that's just actually wild. Like, I know he hates dragons, but she was just a person that helped him out just for her to get murked. Bro, she did nothing wrong. That's when you know his hatred is that deep. He didn't hesitate at all. So one of Leah's supporters tried to keep him in check, but the rest of her clones came by, and they were all talking about how it was a skill issue that she died. Like, hello, how is she supposed to anticipate that? At least Kurumi has more empathy for her clones. So one of the clones was explaining who they are, and Ragna felt bad about what happened. So bro wanted to take punishment for Ragna's mistake, but he was not trying to rock with that. And he wanted them to revive the one that he murked, and they were thinking about the whole entire thing. And they were basically like, oh, we listen to you? She's just a clone. So then Ragna said something diabolical. If you don't reboot her now, I'll make sure I'll squad wipe all of you and get y'all banned for life. And basically what he means by that, he's going to go and slaughter them all if they don't res her. And bro meant it in the bottom of his heart. She was basically like, that's good enough for me, and started resing her. The fact that he pressed him for reviving their own clone is crazy work. Even bro was starstruck about it. Can you really blame him for that? So they were on a roof talking about what happened from before, but bro was about to throw up just because of her face. And she thought it was a good sign because she wants those type of people like Ragna buying dragons like crazy. So she wants to make a deal with Ragna, and the deal was he works for them while they take the civilians in. So Ragna disagreed with that deal heavy and decided to make a new deal, and they decided to accept that offer.
A few moments later.
So Ragna decided to go to an isolated place so that he can meet up with Crimson. Ragna got fully recovered from his personal capsule, and as usual, Crimson wanted to start on the plan. But Ragna cuts Crimson off, saying that Leah is still alive, and Crimson doesn't believe that at all. And that's completely fair. And they were talking about if she's still alive, she's just going to be a liability. So Ragna takes the offense of that. So they got an argument about that. So Ragna decided to go leave after all of that. So Crimson was getting furious about it and warned him not to do it, but it was too late. Ragna got poisoned because he tried to leave. Crimson got annoyed by it, but decided to go make him a zombie instead. And that's when he got excited about it. But there was one major problem with Crimson's plan. Ragna survived the poisoning like it was nothing, and Crimson was bamboozled about it. So Crimson was trying to wrap his mind about it, so Ragna tried to lightly tap him in the head. But obviously that didn't work out and left him injured. So Ragna said his piece and left.
Few minutes later.
Ragna was heading back, and everyone realized that Leah's still alive. So their plan was to rescue her. We managed to see Leah still alive, but she was marked. So once Ragna gets close to her, the mark will activate, which will poison her. So now she has a task to make Ragna a sword so it can fight at its full potential. And you might be wondering why she has to do that. Well, it's because he's battle hungry. So that's when everyone got to work preparing for their final battle. Later on, Leah's subordinate wanted to have a quick spar with Ragna, and their spar ended almost instantly. And of course, the winner was Ragna. And afterwards, they were talking about Ragna's true source of power. And after the talk, he was grateful for it. But here's one thing I want y'all to keep in mind for. These characters gave their lives away so that they can be protected from time stop for a short period of time. So once they got done, they got teleported to the fight. And since they just got there, and that means Leah's poison triggered. And bro was happy about his arrival. And the crazier part, well, not that crazy actually, Crimson decided to join the fight after what happened. So once they were about to land, but that's when they immediately started scrapping. So once Stu was trying to give out his monologue, Ragna decided to go and shut it down. Then Kami decided to go to the battlefield and told him to meet at a certain location. So that's what Ragna did with no hesitation. They try and get their fair ones in. So once he got to the location, he received a special present from Kamui, and he decided to let him see her in the condition she's in. And I can easily tell you it's not a good one. And bro felt frustrated about that. So she pointed out that she made a sword for him, and she was also apologizing that it was not good enough. But Ragna thought otherwise, and he'll prove it to her. So the assistant got there, and he wanted her to protect Leah, and he wanted her to watch him. That's when Kamui said that you done yapping, because he was ready to fight. So he goes to his typical transformation, but Ragna was not dealing with that. He wanted him to go full power. So Kamui tried to attack, but Ragna stops it with ease. Then he charges up towards him, and he gives him the DB's ass punch. And he was like, what did I say? Go full power. So he decides to transform his sword, and stands there like a dragon slayer god. He has now unlocked the true power of Crashout mentality. So Kamui sees this, and he was like, bet. So he decides to transform into a dragon, and that's when their final fight begins. So Kamui tried to attack him with his sword, but Ragna easily clashed it with his aura. While all that was happening, he was watching Leah going to a safe spot. So he decided to send his sword towards them so so they can escape faster. Once they were gone, he went around their clash and went up towards his face and blasted him. Once he got pushed back from that, they both decided to charge in after each other. Kamui used his tail to get the upper edge. So Ragna got back up and blocked his next attack. Once he blocked the attack, they decided to have a vanish war. So Ragna said, fuck this and you, and gave him an immunity gut check to him flying towards the other battle that's going on. So Ragna was chasing him down and seeing this other dragon that's trying to charge his attack. So Ragna was like, and froze his mouth open. So Ragna got hit with a sneak attack and he got sent to the next zone. Once that happened, he was getting spammed from lightning attacks. And Kamui decided to fire from the back as well. Once Ragna had to do with two things at once, Kamui used that chance to slam him to the ground. Then he decided to do his own personal final flash. And once he fired it off, Ragna blocked it with one hand. And he used his other hand to slash a beam. And he sent him flying towards space. And that's when they were able to continue on with their fight at full power. And here's another fight I want to get deep into. And oh my gosh, just get ready about this. So we have this dragon. Generally, I forgot what his name is and I don't really care. All I gotta say, he loses my respect. He gets infiltrated by Crimson and he trying to go fix the situation. But while all that was happening, his awareness was complete zero. He was too concentrated on his game to the point that he didn't even care about slime. Cause he got eaten again. Are you kidding? Bro, you can't. I'm sorry, you cannot get eaten twice from the same thing. You knew what happened from before and you got eaten again. I'm sorry, it's off topic, but god damn, use your awareness. He remembers what happened from before, so why did, oh my gosh. This man is a complete fraud. We never seen him did anything at all because he's complete useless. He is a genuine fraud of a dragon. I don't care. He wanted to pose a threat to Ragna, but nah, he can't. But anyways, so Crimson pulls up to finish Ultimaia. But bro gave his last message before he was cooked. But Crimson managed to get a shot in, so she tried to fight back. So Crimson used spatial time manipulation. It won't affect the outside world. So these clones gave their lives away for no reason. But anyways, Ultimaia got mad and she said that she wasn't afraid of him. So Crimson turned to their dragon form, but they're not immortal anymore. Well, that's when their battle starts. So Ultimaia tried to be his owner and try to fire from far away. But Crimson was not trying to deal with that and threw out some flashbangs. Then Crimson charged up a couple of shots to penetrate through her barrier. So she started to fall down and Crimson wanted to pull off a finisher until she started to spam attacks. So Crimson was getting annoyed by this, so they decided to get into her head rent free. And it was working out because she was going crazy about it. So Crimson used that chance to finish her off, but one of the dragons tried to stop the fight. So Ultimaia used that as a chance to escape, but Crimson was not letting her. So she tried to push him back for the time being.
Meanwhile,
one of Crimson's subordinates was defeated until she tagged her tail in. And that's when Snake emerges to the scene. So they decided to crush two enemies with one stone with one certain move, World Collapse. And that basically destroyed everything in sight. Friends and foes were caught up in that blast, even Crimson. So now there's only one main threat at a battlefield.
Meanwhile,
Ragna was still scrapping in space, and Ragna had the upper edge in this fight. Once Ragna weakened him, he was about to go for the final blow until Kamui had a flashback, and thus he got his awakening. So he started putting pressure on Ragna, telling him to fight back. He even went out of his way to taunt him. So he pulled back his hand and tried to finish him off. And on top of that, he launched him all the way down to Earth, causing a huge explosion. And on top of that, Ragna's head was detached, leaving Kamui the winner, right? Wrong. Because his body still went for the attack, and Ragna attached his head back on like a Lego. I call it BS. You can call it whatever you want to call that. The winner was there, but he, main character, I guess. I don't know. At that point, I would have just quit the fight and just left. I don't care what anyone would say. Because that fight is basically unwinnable at that point. And before you start typing saying, well, he's made out of a sword, so he's able to do that. Listen, I know, but that doesn't mean he should survive off of that. He's unkillable. Like, he avoided death twice. And if you say, well, actually, shut your so Kamui tried charging for the final attack, but Ragna finished him off with a double slash attack, and it was basically game. After the fight ended, Ultimaia managed to get her power back, so she tried to rewind, but gets folded. Honestly, I gotta say, Ultimaia was just a victim at this point. But anyways, this anime was really good, and people said that, oh, you should read the manga. Hey, if this video does really well, I'll give my opinions for the manga. How about that? I was playing on it, but at the same time, though, it's like I don't really read manga like that. It's not like I don't really do that. It's just more like I do other things as well, and it's rare for me to read manga. But if y'all really want me to, I will, and I'll talk about it. And by the time this uploads, it should be Christmas time. So hey, Merry Christmas to y'all if y'all celebrate that, and thank y'all for the support. It really means a lot. And don't be ungrateful about your gifts, even if it's just clothes. But anyways, I really do hope you enjoyed this type of video. If you did enjoy it, I'd like to appreciate it. Share, be nice. Make sure you comment as well that you enjoyed it or something like that. And what anime should I do next? Also, I do have a Discord server and I do stream on Twitch as well. If you want to stop on by while I'm live, then hey, go on ahead. But until then, I'll see you next time in a different video. If not, I hope you have a good life. I love y'all.